As I live and breathe, I am so excited that on today's podcast, the Video Game Town Hall podcast, we have the one and only Mahin Kassor is a gaming video producer. He's worked with such brands as Jinx TV, Tech Radar, Games Radar, PC Gamer, FGS, Panasonic, Metro, BAFTA Games, and more. The always dapper, always sophisticated, always well-dressed, even if he looks like Scooby-Doo, Mahin Kassor. How are you doing?
Hello, that was such a good opening. You're going to give me a complex. You're going to give me an ego. But yes, it is I. I'm Mahin. Nice to meet everyone.
I just learned minutes ago that you came off streaming Cory in the House for the Nintendo DS.
I did.
Please tell us how that went.
Oh my God. Well, I wanted to play it because of all the discourse that's been going. Well, not discourse. Whatever the opposite of discourse is. Everyone seems to be loving it. And it's like second on Metacritic. And I wasn't too sure if it was like a joke or if it was like genuinely good or if it was somewhere in the middle. So I wanted to do some investigating. I was not dressed as Scooby-Doo, but I did do some investigating. And I came off playing it. I probably played it for like 2 hours. I'm 2 hours into Cory in the House on the Nintendo DS. And I can see why people like it. But ultimately, so far, I think the fact that it's second on Metacritic is probably somewhere in between. It genuinely is quite a fun little game and also partly a joke as well. Do you want me to dive into like what I've done in the game so far?
I would want nothing more in life than to hear this.
So it plays like an episode, funnily enough. It even has like, when it goes from scene to scene, it even has like these cutaways, these like really old school, like PNG, almost Microsoft Paint looking cutaways of buildings and like a little jingle to go from like one set to the other. And it's so early 2000s, like Disney Channel. It's great. And I was trying to explain the concept to people that had joined my stream a bit later on in the stream. And it does sound a bit crazy. So bear with me here. The game starts off with Cory in the House. Well, Cory Baxter. I keep thinking his name is Cory.
That could be his name.
The house. He lives in the White House. I used to watch it as a kid, but the game starts off with him winning a bobblehead competition. It was a competition about who can make the best bobbleheads. He won. He sells his bobbleheads to the local mall, and the local mall sells the bobbleheads to the rest of DC, I guess. And then people in the town are being hypnotized by the bobbleheads, and they get turned into zombies. And the gameplay is like a top-down platformer. And he actually has like projectiles. He has like these, I don't even know what they're called, because he's got a friend who is, I forget where she's from. She's either from South America or Europe or something. And it's like a delicacy from her country, and it has lemon in it. And he just has an infinite amount of these things, and he throws them like projectiles. And that's as far as I've got so far, 2 hours in.
This is mind-blowing. I was not expecting platforming, projectiles, Resident Evil zombies. I'm on the Wikipedia, and I've learned two things. One is that only one episode featured Raven-Symoné reprising her role as Raven Baxter, who can see into the future.
Yeah, I think I do remember that one episode. Whilst I was playing, I was slowly I was like having visions of the past, like playing this game and remembering the TV show. But yeah, I think she was only ever in one.
And on Wikipedia, it has been updated to say that in January 2026, where we currently are in time right now, a surge of positive ratings driven by renewed interest in memes related to the game caused it to become the second highest rated game on Metacritic by user score.
Oh, I wonder. I must have missed all the memes and stuff. I just saw the end product, which is everyone, all like games outlets and IGN and all these different places reporting on the news that it was second. I missed the middle part.
I definitely remember there being some like Pawn Stars memes of like people coming with like the Game Boy version and like trying to pawn it for like thousands of dollars. Like There was a lot of really stupid memes in the day, but like I guess it's come full circle.
Right, that's so weird. I'm so happy that for whatever reason I'm now playing it. I don't know how much I'll continue it because it is, I think it was just fun and interesting for me to see what all the hype was about. And I did have a big smile on my face playing it the whole time. But how much more I'll play, I'll see.
I can't wait for ROM hacks. People like, you know, putting in like different characters and like making it a roguelike, and who knows where this stupid joke will go. It is easily the 6-7 of video games, Corey
Oh
in the
no.
house.
I'm just wanting Corey in the house for Smash now for the next Smash game.
I wrote an article not too long ago trying to suss out who should be in the next Smash Brothers game, and I neglected to include any characters from the Disney Channel. How dare me? How dare I? You on YouTube are a big shot because I've seen the reels. I've seen you on red carpets. I've seen you in all these different places wearing all sorts of different outfits, especially Scooby Doo. You were interviewing Tamor Hussein, who I love.
Mhm.
Can you just briefly tell me the journey you've taken and how you ended up in front of all these cameras, looking so good?
Yeah, it's just like through games journalism, really. I started off writing articles for free in the London games journalism kind of circuit. And but it was never for articles. I can write an article, but it was always ever a foot in the door to video. And it just ended up snowballing, and I worked for free for so many years until I finally broke into games journalism. And yeah, I've been on red carpets. I've interviewed like Tamoor Hussain, and we all know how tough the games journalism, well, the games industry as a whole, but even the games journalism industry right now is struggling so much. So I've just been going from job to job, really, just trying my darndest here in East London. That's
Now,
pretty much it.
so I have a very funny story for you. We'll talk about games soon. Don't worry,
Oh
listener.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm happy.
But I last year went to London for the very first time in my life.
I think I saw a video of you trying the different Pepsis.
Yes, yes, I did some soda reviews there. I had a wonderful time. What's funny to me is that all of my friends who watch football, like, Premier
Okay,
League,
yeah.
I'll translate for you, football, they are fans of different teams. So one is Liverpool, one is Manchester City, one
Yeah.
is Chelsea, one is Tottenham Hotspurs. And to piss them all off, because I don't care, I bought a Manchester United like a jacket or like a sweater,
Right.
and the whole trip, people immediately engaged with me as if I was a jerk, being like, "Huh, Man U, huh? Like they're having a rough year," and I would just play dumb because like I would like disarm them by being like, Tell me, please, enlighten me." And it was so funny how it was just like everyone had an opinion on this goddamn Man U thing.
Yeah, and there's also two. There's like Manchester United, and then there's Man City. I literally know nothing about sports or football, but I just hear from friends, and football is so prominent in the UK that even though I don't follow it and I don't like it, I end up just hearing about it. And yeah, if you know about football, you can talk to maybe nearly everyone in the UK. It's hard being someone who doesn't like football who lives in the UK.
I would suspect you're more of a Rocket League kind of guy.
Not even that. I don't know. I like drag race. That's my sport. My sport is watching RuPaul's Drag Race and all the different franchises across the world that they have. And then they do like a World Cups type thing where they get some of the contestants from all the different franchises from around the world and put them together. That's the one gay sport that exists in the world.
The first thought in my head was drag racing. Oh, like not F1,
Oh
but there's
no, no,
another.
no. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I
that was
see
the
how
first
you
thing I
say
thought. And then you
that.
said RuPaul, and I went, oh,
Oh yeah, I see. Look, I'm so in my bubble. Drag race has become such a big phenomenon in, at least in my world, that like I just say the words drag race and I don't even think about cars anymore.
yeah. No, my sister watches Drag Race. A lot of people love that show. So like, but it is funny how my very like monkey brain just immediately went like race car, yes, fast, go, vroom.
No, yeah, that's my sport.
Okay. Well, I promise to not get into the World Cup or the fact that it is in my backyard, and that even my friends who live nearby are like, I don't want to go to that. The tickets are way too expensive, and like, there's no guarantee that any teams will be in it that I want. So it's a whole thing.
Oh, the World Cup is in America next year or something.
It's this summer. It is in Canada, America, and Mexico.
Oh.
Various cities throughout North America. And when you fly into Newark in New Jersey, there is a huge sculpture with a timer, and it shows like East Rutherford, New Jersey, where the Jets and Giants play. Here's the countdown timer. Buy your tickets to the World Cup games now.
Wow. I
Yeah.
did know that American is I mean football is very like somewhat big in America like because I'm here in the UK it's just everywhere all the time. Like is soccer big in America?
It's getting like pretty it's getting there. I would say I probably know more soccer fans than hockey fans, which is surprising because like hockey like is the sort of fourth in the North American sports of baseball, American football, basketball. And I think soccer might be overtaking it because there's MLS with Messi and David Beckham.
Oh.
And now there's a lot of people who just watch Premier League and they watch World Cup and they want to see how the American team's doing. And like I would say that a lot of kids growing up in elementary school, they play soccer. Like that is like a go-to sport to play as a kid. And for some reason, it just people just transition to other sports. But I think it's really growing. It's really snowballing.
Oh, I knew I had a feeling it was big in like South America, but I didn't know how big it was for the rest of them. I tell you what, I don't follow really any sport, but I do make sure to watch the Super Bowl halftime show and then like try and watch all the trailers on YouTube afterwards.
That was actually going to be a question I had for you. Is that there's a lot of people who are not from America who live here, and none of them know who won the Super Bowl. None of them like notice. None of them care because it is like such a purely American thing. And I wonder, I'm like, well, we have like pretty big musicians like perform, and there's like very funny commercials with lots of celebrities. Like maybe that transitions across the
Yeah,
borders.
I definitely that's a big time for everyone. You know, only recently I feel like in the last few years I've had friends that like make a big deal out of the Super Bowl, like the actual sport itself. But it does attract a lot of other people too for the halftime show. I would be so curious to know the viewing figures during when they actually do the sport and when they start to show the adverts and do the halftime show. I'd love to see the viewing figures of that, but I guess they don't release that.
They don't release the minute by minute breakdowns, but I do know for a fact that because the Nielsen's rating, they changed how they do things and that they are now encompassing online figures and social media figures and DVR numbers.
Mm.
127 million people watch the game and 133 million watch the halftime show.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
the halftime show is slightly more.
Yeah, slightly more, but like, so there's probably like a couple of million people who just watch for the halftime show. And I figured meme culture, like people online are seeing like Kendrick Lamar or, Lady Gaga, like, like they attached wires and she like fell from the sky during one halftime show. Like there are
Ooh,
things to talk about online for people in other countries.
ooh, yeah, yeah, for sure. Who is it? Who's performing this year? Who is it this year?
Bad Bunny.
Yes, I remember hearing the discourse about like, oh, he's from Puerto Rico or something like
Yep.
that, and then people fighting back like, yeah, that's part of America.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah, no, I did hear that. Okay. I'll be sure to enjoy it on YouTube after it happens. No, yeah, I'm interested in like the halftime show and yes, the adverts as well. I feel like I don't know. I hope they will like show something Avengers related. I
Oh, they
don't know if
will.
they've ever
They
done
will.
in the part. I really am hoping for something Avengers related for this year's one.
Okay. It's a good thing you brought that up because as I'm learning more about you, are you equally super curious what they're going to do to Robert Downey Jr.'s face when he takes off that mask?
Yes, I assume he'll have like a broken or missing nose. I feel like they definitely will because at the end of what's it called, Fantastic Four.
Yep.
I'm also a big fan of like New Rockstars on YouTube and stuff. And when the kid like touches Doctor Doom's face, it has to be for a reason. You don't just touch someone's face if it's a normal face, right?
That's a good point. Now, they could go the route of some of the older comics where it's like a tiny scar. and it's like 99% normal, but there's like a tiny scar, and he's so vain that he's like, "How dare my face have a tiny scar?" You know, like he thinks he's hideous, but in reality, it's like nothing. They could go that route.
Oh, okay, okay. My Marvel knowledge is like more recent, and I'm a big fan of the movies. And I did read a bunch of the comics back in maybe like 2016, 17 when I was at university. I was using a lot of my university money on comics, and I was
Smart man.
collecting. I was reading the Avengers run at the time that was just before Secret Wars. And I ended up reading Secret Wars too. I loved Secret Wars when it was releasing. I've got Secret Wars in like issue form that I've kept pristine since 2015 or 16, whenever it was. And I'm so surprised that that's what they're making into the next movie. So I'm all on board. I've been rereading like Jonathan Hickman's run before Secret Wars. I've been recently really getting back into my Marvel bag.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna base it more on the original Secret Wars, which is like when the symbiote Venom suit first appeared, and
Oh, I did end up reading that too. When I was really young, I had like a Secret Wars t-shirt, and I think like it was just
nice.
like some kind of hand-me-down or something, and I used to wear it everywhere as a kid. And I remember one day thinking like I've no idea what this t-shirt is. I just love it, and I ended up going back to read. I don't know what year it was. I think was it like 80s or something.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah, I ended up reading that on Marvel Now, and so I'm trying my best to catch up with the history of Marvel, but I'm here and there with it.
It's almost like impossible and stupid to try to like encompass everything from like the 50s until now. Like it's too daunting. So you really have to just kind of pick and choose what you're interested in because like everyone's dead, everyone's alive,
Yeah.
multiverse nonsense. I will say if anyone listening has not read, there is a Hawkeye comics book, Hawkeye, Matt Fraction and David Aja. That is maybe the best comic book I've ever read in my life.
Ooh, what year was it?
Um, Hawkeye 1 through 22. I don't know, 2015?
Oh, okay. Okay, that would have been prime Jonathan Hickman leading up to Secret Wars kind of time. Okay. Okay.
It is a very distinctive art style. And if you just search Hawkeye Matt Fraction, the show really just took all the good parts of the book.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the Chris. I was so
yeah.
close to watching that during Christmas time. I was struggling for Christmas related content, and I was thinking that counts as Christmassy,
Yeah.
doesn't it? The
It takes
Hawkeye
place
show.
during Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just got rid of my Marvel Now membership, but I've still got a bunch of comics that I because I remember back in the day. I don't know if they still do this, but when you buy a physical comic, you'll get like a thing to scan, and then it goes on your phone as well on some kind of other Marvel app.
Hmm. I actually did. I didn't know that.
I don't know if they still do it, but at least back in like 2015, 16-ish time, you could buy the comic, scan like the barcode that was in it somewhere, but you had to peel it as well. So like you couldn't just go to the comic book store and start scanning like all these. You had to like buy it and then peel it open, and then you'd scan the QR code, and then you would get the comic. So I would keep my comics like in pristine. I don't know if I've actually read my comics. I just liked having them and for the collector's value and then reading them on my iPad.
All right, so let's start to transition into games. Are there any Marvel related video games that you really love or are looking forward to?
Oh, I wish I got more into it. One that I really wish I was into is Marvel Rivals. Everyone's playing Marvel Rivals. I'm so jealous that it's just too much of a learning curve for me. I know it's like one of those Overwatch type games. One day I will sit down and I will put a bunch of hours into learning how Marvel Rivals works. I did play what was that card game one? Midnight Suns. I played Marvel Midnight Suns for a bit.
I
I
love
did
Midnight
like
Suns.
I did like it. And also I'm a big Runaways fan. The Runaways is like my favorite Marvel
Nice.
comic. So anytime Nico Minoru appears in anything, I try my best to be there for it. I wish I got more into it. I probably got maybe only like a quarter or a third of the way into the game. I had it on my PC and I was playing it for a while and streaming it for a while, but I couldn't really play it in great quality while streaming it. And then it went on to PlayStation. I forget what their streaming service is called, like PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus or whatever it's called.
Yeah, their
I had it
naming
on.
system is stupid. I hate PS Now, PSN, PS Plus, whatever.
That rings a bell. I think it is PS Now, and I had to start again to play it on there, and it looks 10 times better than my little PC could ever run it. And I was playing it on there. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I can't remember what it. I think it might just be called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Uh,
that single player game from not Square Enix, but maybe Eidos.
that
Yeah,
does ring a bell. That does ring a bell. It looks incredible,
yeah, that
and
was
that
good.
was so fun. I got towards. I don't know why I don't finish games. I got towards the end, and then I just stopped. But those are the ones I can think of.
Okay, well, I will let you know that one of the most powerful cards in the meta in Marvel Snap is Nico. Um,
Oh, I'm happy for her. Oh yeah,
yeah,
Marvel Snap.
Marvel
Did you get
Snap.
into that?
I play Marvel Snap every day.
Oh, yeah. I remember when did that came out? Like 2024, I want to guess.
No, it's been like 2 or 3, no, maybe yeah, 3 or 4 years. I got into the closed beta, and when they added her, she was immediately busted, and she's still one of the like go to like get this card because she every turn she has a different spell, and she's just very powerful for being a one drop.
Oh, I'm so happy. I have a question about that game. I remember playing it when it first came out, and I get that it's like a quick, snappy card game, and it's meant to be like played like quite quickly. But like I like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And like with those kind of games, your deck usually does stay a certain theme. Like in Pokemon, you'll have like your deck will be a certain type. In Magic it's a similar thing with the colors, and a lot of people do just end up like theming their decks to do with like cats or dragons or whatever. And then Yu-Gi-Oh, in maybe not old school Yu-Gi-Oh, but definitely like what Yu-Gi-Oh's turned into, you have to have like an archetype or something to stick to. With Marvel Snap, your deck is just anyone and everyone, right? Or is it smart to keep your characters like, I don't know, like there's like spooky characters and then the Runaways and then the Avengers and then villains? Like, is it a similar thing?
Well, the main mode, which is just normal playing people, the archetypes of the decks are based around the abilities. So there are, like, for instance, there are some cards that can move between the 3 lanes because you have to win 2 out of 3. And most of the cards that move are based around the Spider-Verse. So if you're playing a move deck, you have flexibility to move between the lanes to either trick your opponent or sort of give yourself options. And most of those cards are spider characters. Not all of them, but you'll have a move deck. And then there'll be a deck around destroying your own cards. And a lot of those cards happen to be Carnage, Venom, X-Men, Weapon X, um, like kind of like those type of characters. So it's not like strictly about I'm going to build an Avengers deck. It's more
Ah.
like it's more around the abilities themselves, and then they more or less try to have abilities tied to certain types of characters. But it is like a sort of just like all-star team of like you're not going to win if you just pick your favorite characters. But I mean, there are still archetypes of decks. So they're like fast zoo decks. There are big, slow, giant monstery decks, or it's like I'm going to put in Galactus and Giganto and the Infinite and the Hulk and like big dudes. But those characters specifically are just because they're very high cost and high power, not because like there are synergies between like the factions. If that makes sense.
Right, I'm just such a sucker for a theme. I just love a theme. But I'm glad it's somewhat staying like that. I would love to have like a Runaways deck, but I know apart from Nico Minoru, I'm not sure many of the other Runaways get much spotlight.
I'm actually not even sure the run. Oh wait, I'm gonna look up a list of the characters in the Runaways. No, not the band. I want Marvel. Stupid
I
Google.
get that all the time too when I search them.
And there are some limited time game modes that actually do intentionally do that, where they're like, here's your X-Men, here's your Guardians, here are your Avengers. Like they all have synergies and they boost each other. But those are for like a week or two and then they go away. What other characters are we talking about?
Let me just take my
No,
jump real quickly.
none of these other characters are in the game.
Oh,
It
there we
it
go.
really is just Nico because Oh, Morgan Le Fay, she's in the game.
Oh, I'm not sure that rings a bell to me.
Morgan Le Fay is a bad guy,
Oh,
or
okay.
she's a bad chick. She's not a guy, she's a chick. Oh, Cloak and Dagger, they were in
Oh
the original
yeah,
set.
yeah.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger are also cards that enable movement because they like shift and move between the different lanes.
I would love to see Nico Minoru in Marvel Rivals. I honestly, that would be the nail in the coffin for me to finally pick up Marvel Rivals. But I don't know if they'll ever do it.
I mean, they're gonna have to eventually run out of characters.
Yeah, yeah. The TV show was. I did not like the TV show. I hope like post Secret Wars, Doomsday, when they restart everything, that they will give the Runaways a new show.
I mean, we got the New Mutants.
I haven't seen that. Is that the one that's like a bit horror-esque? No.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like a fine attempt at introducing Magic and Wolfsbane and a couple of those like super C tier X-Men into a thing. And I mean, they cast it really well. They got a bunch of great actors and actresses to be in it, but that was like X-Men like in the hands of Fox being like, we can't give this IP back to Marvel, and then they got purchased, and then it just sort of flamed out.
Well, I'm hoping for some more Runaways post Secret Wars.
Besides waiting for Wolverine like the rest of us, are there any other games that you were looking forward to this year that might shine a light on the types of games you like to play?
I'm definitely looking forward Mario Tennis Fever next month. I love Nintendo. So honestly, at this point with the Switch 2, any like Nintendo IP Nintendo game, I am most likely going to get. I would love to hear even the snippet, a tiniest mention of what they're going to do with the Smash Bros. Series. I love Super Smash Bros. I play it with my friends and cousins all the time. I promise I'm one of the nice fans of that game. I know like the fan base is can be just terrible, but I'm a fan of a crossover. Obviously I like Marvel and stuff as well, so I'm even if it's like a port of Smash Ultimate to Switch 2 with new characters or a whole new Smash game, like who knows what they're going to do with it, but I'm looking forward to the possibility of that. Sometimes even the like hype phase of a Smash game coming out and wondering which characters are they going to choose, it can end up being a lot more fun than when the game comes out. And it's like,
oh, it's the best. Watching the
game's
trailers.
out.
Who's going to hop
Yeah.
out of this trailer? Yeah.
You can't even speculate anymore. And it's like, oh, well, I guess we can start speculating for the next one. Like it's always like a roller coaster that ends up dipping when the game actually comes out. But I still love it. And I can't wait to hear about new Pokemon games. I think this is the year we're going to hear about stuff. I'm not sure if we're going to get any big blockbuster games come out this year, obviously, apart from GTA. But as Nintendo goes, this will be the year of great Nintendo Directs.
I mean, I don't know how much of the leaks you've seen from the Pokemon Company, but we know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we know Wind and Wave are coming, and they're based in Southeast Asia, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think for a while people thought it was like maybe Greece or something. And then, yeah, it turns out I need to look more into it. But yeah, that's all I know. Was that like, did the league say anything about those coming out this year? It kind of would make sense for that to come out this year.
Oh, you can bet your sweet behind that the Pokemon Company loves money and they will release games annually because people will buy them regardless of their quality.
Yeah, they're literally like the new Assassin's Creed.
All right, so I'm going to pop in this article in the chat in Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Zoom. I'm aware that I cannot minimize my screen while I'm recording. That seems like a big problem that you should probably...
and this is what you wrote.
So, yeah, so I've just sent the article I wrote about Smash Brothers characters that I think might be in the next game. And as you go through that list of who I want out and who I want in, I will briefly mention that a lot of these interviews I have on the podcast these next few weeks, it's January, there's nothing going on, and so I'm just trying to gauge like what people are looking forward to because there's going to be a lot of big releases and there's going to be a lot of delays. So, are we going to see Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra? I doubt it. Would I love to see Gears of War E-Day? Absolutely. Am I going to yell at Miyazaki for whatever they do to the Dusk Bloods? Hell yeah. And then will the industry collapse under the weight of watching for when GTA 6 finally releases? Inevitably.
That's what it comes down to. I think like this is GTA year, and anything else, unfortunately, is a little bit filler. And I feel like a lot of companies probably have done that on purpose. They've wanted to like not have their game come out at the same time as GTA, but to avoid that, like now earlier in the year slash maybe early to mid part of the year is when like I feel like all the big games are gonna come out. I think they'll save the end of the year for GTA and possibly the beginning of next year.
And then ultimately we'll be done in by, well, we got delayed again. Now there's a huge open window.
That is always a possibility. What was the first release date? It was April, right? Before it got moved to the end. I can't remember, but it was like earlier this year. So I wonder in the world of games development if there were games that were meant to come out earlier in the year, they got moved and now will move back to when their game was meant to come out, when GTA's first release date was.
I feel like they initially, maybe they didn't promise, but they hinted at 25, and then they were like, oh no, it's still coming out at the end of 25, and it was like, okay, now it's going to be May of 26, and then it was December or November of 26, and the next thing you know, it's coming out when it's coming out.
Yeah.
And all these console makers are like jacking up their prices because of RAM and GPUs and CPUs and whatever. And then they're just waiting for people to buy the consoles for GTA 6, and then that gets delayed, and then it's like a weird self-perpetuating. It's just like, oh my God, like something has to give, because like it just seems like there are too many people not buying new games or consoles, and they're just playing Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite, and it's like the entire sort of system that we've built over the last 30 to 40 years no longer exists, and we're just waiting for the bottom to fall out so that we can sort of pick up the pieces of whatever gets destroyed when like publishers go away and everything turns indie. And it's like, I can't imagine like a PS6 release. That's gonna be the most insufferable. Yep, can't wait to pay $1,500 for something that's marginally better than what I have now.
If it's anything like GTA 5, they're going to try and release it on every it'll be out on Casio calculators. They're going to try and push it everywhere. But you reminded me of Pokemon, and I just think like if Pokemon is going to come out at the end of the year,
it will.
Does that kind of mean Pokemon and GTA are going to go somewhat head to head?
No, because I bet you the Pokemon company is A, not afraid of anyone because they've made more money than God, and B, they can probably release their game in September or October and be fine.
Yeah, and it's such different audiences, even though there is a lot of crossover between the people that will probably get both. They are so opposite ends of the age spectrum of what they would want their audience to be, and also like, you know, families and there are so I don't think they'll have a problem at all. I just panicked for a second because you reminded me of Wind and Waves coming out this year.
Yeah, and GTA is never coming to the Switch. So like, if you own a Switch,
that's true.
You're buying Pokemon and whatever other games Nintendo is secretly working on. Which, this is an interesting thought experiment. There are a number of franchises that it's been a while, and you would expect them to sort of, okay, where's the next Luigi's Mansion? Where is the next Animal Crossing? Where is the next Mario? When is the next Zelda? And I don't have answers because I don't know what they've been working on. Like, I don't know what's next in line.
Yeah, I think like we're in such a weird phase because it's like January, and I think like historically, there's a month at the beginning of the year that they historically drop a Nintendo Direct on. I can't remember if it's like February or March or something.
It's around
so I
there.
feel like we are literally in the calm before the storm that they do. I mean, us Nintendo fans, we're always like hoping and praying and wishing, and who knows if this is what will happen or not. But I hope, trust, believe, and pray that we are on the edge of a huge Nintendo Direct where we get a lot of those answers, and hopefully we'll hear from like some. I feel like with the Switch 2, because it's taken Nintendo so long to play catch up when it comes to graphics and stuff like that, and like, you know, the Switch 2 is nowhere near an Xbox Series X or a PS5, but this is the closest we've been in a long time, and there are so many games that are releasing on Switch 2 at the same time, even if there's like a dumbed down version, like and very late, like with Final Fantasy VII Remake and stuff like that. So maybe this is a perfect time to bring back an old franchise like F-Zero or something. Like right now is such a weird time for Nintendo where they know what it's like to do bad. They've been burnt by the Wii U. They've just managed to bring it back. And I think they're more open to listening to. I like to think they're more open to listening to their fans and their audience as they were before. So hopefully we're on the edge of hearing some news.
I have some bad news for you.
Oh no!
Nintendo, Kyle Bossman, one of the greats in our industry, always described Nintendo as a gigantic elephant that just goes in weird directions, and no one can push it to go in the direction they want, and they just. Like they're just going to fumble around and do whatever they want. And I feel like they're going to rely on third-party ports, Resident Evil 7, 8, 9, Pragmata, Final Fantasy Remake, Dragon Quest Remake. Like they're just going to lean on third-party. I think they might be getting a Call of Duty game soon. They're going to give us a new Kirby, I'm sure. There's always a new Kirby. They will never give us F-Zero, and I hate them for it. They will never give us Star Fox, and I hate them for it. They will never give us Mother or Earthbound.
Oof.
I'm sure they're just like, yeah, we'll make a Mario, we'll make a Kirby. Here's another sports game. Here's some old GameCube games, and Pokemon. Like what else could they have other than I really think maybe it's time for Luigi's Mansion 4. I'm hoping that's like their big sort of like, here you go.
Well, I've maybe I'm wrong, but when they release a Luigi's Mansion, do they always try and release it during like October, or do they not care about like releasing it during Halloween?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they don't care.
Yeah, because it would be also such a weird time for them to do that then. But then Nintendo on Nintendo, and you're right, they do their own thing. And you know what? I'm just a hopeful Nintendo fan. But recently, like with them releasing Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the GameCube NSO, when they released that, I thought, oh, how random. But I really started to deep it, and I was thinking, this is like one of the rarest GameCube games ever, and now there is a way to play it that doesn't involve like spending 200 quid online and stuff. Are we really that in such a lull for Nintendo games? Does Nintendo know that there's not going to be a lot of big games right now?
Yes.
That's why they're relying on a big game like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance to come out.
100%.
That's what got me worried. But if it does mean that we're just going to get loads of GameCube games in this weird dip, I do love that. But yeah, I would prefer new games.
Yes, I would love more GameCube games, like Mario Baseball, and just like give me all these weird Geist for NSO. I know there is a new Fire Emblem coming out, and they have promised a couple of more GameCube games. Like they have like a short list of things that they already said were coming. So like. I think Pokemon Coliseum. Yeah, that's coming. Like they have like a list of like, yeah, here's what's down the pipe. I'm the biggest Paper Mario fan, and I have been one of the most vitriolic and vile like haters of what they've done with that franchise ever since they like stopped making them RPGs.
Yes.
But I honestly don't know what they have cooking. I did look up, by the way. So Luigi's Mansion 1 came out with the release of the console. Luigi's Mansion 2 came out in March of 2013.
Oh, weird.
And Luigi's Mansion 3 came out on Halloween 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they've done both. They could do any. This Nintendo.
2019. It's been a while. He should return. He should come back.
What was it in 2019? Was that a fully fledged numbered title, or was that some kind of
No, that was Luigi's Mansion 3.
3, yes. Yeah, and then since then they've ported a bunch of them and stuff.
Yeah.
So you would think, oh, and if they ever want to do a spin-off movie, that surely like, I mean, I know there's like rumors of like a Donkey Kong movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like a Luigi's Mansion movie would make sense. So they probably would want to make more Luigi's Mansion games, and soon.
I'm banking on it. I definitely think that's the sort of next thing, because I can't envision them like, here's a Zelda, or here's Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker 2. Like,
I'm hoping we hear from a Zelda. I'm hoping we find out what the next Zelda could even be. And it's weird that Metroid Prime just came out, but the only thing I could think of whilst playing Metroid Prime is I cannot wait for number 5. There are so many things, like whilst playing Metroid Prime 4, that I was like, I love this. I'm having a great time. I can't wait for them to improve on this and that and this and that. And by the end of the game, I was like, oh, I wish the next one was just out already, because there's so many places they can make better. And if they're doing the same thing that they did with the first and want to do another trilogy or something, but honestly, they could go so many directions.
Well, we could be getting a 2D Metroid from a different development team, the one that made Dread. So maybe we get that. Maybe we get a 2D Mario. Maybe we get Luigi's Mansion 4, a new Kirby, and Pokemon. That sounds like a year for them.
Yeah, I'd be happy about that. It's just it's being in this in the lurch and not knowing, and being like such an angsty Nintendo fan that hypes over the silliest of small announcements and trailers and stuff, that I'm just hyped for whatever comes next.
And then, of course, they'll just do Tamagotchi Life or what is it? Tomodachi?
Tomodachi Life?
That's like, come on. That game's like it's from the Wii era, and they just dusted it off a shelf and went, oh, we could re-release this. Give me a break.
I kind of love those games. I am one of those Nintendo fans that's part of the problem. Like they can like re-release some of this stuff, and I'll be like first in line, and I will be the first to admit that I am part of the problem. But I can't help it.
I bet you the big direct we get in like a month or two, it's like, here's a new WarioWare and a new Mario Party. That's it. Goodbye. And it's just like, well, come on, guys. That's your next 6 months, really?
I will say, like, I can agree that so far it has been a bit lacking for games on the Switch too. I think we had like, what, 4? I want to say Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Hyrule Warriors, and Metroid Prime. I don't think that's enough for
Pokemon
the
Legends
first year. Pokemon Legends, yeah, 5.
Kirby Air Riders.
Oh, I always forget about that. Okay, there is quite a few, but it just doesn't feel like there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's not like one big blockbuster game. And if there was, I would say it'd be Donkey Kong. I think everyone gets Mario Kart because it's Mario Kart. Everyone needs a Mario Kart. But I think a lot of people could agree it just doesn't hit the same way that 8 did when it came out. And I can't really even pinpoint why, because I do love it. But there's just not like a big system selling game out, and I think that will be a Pokemon or a Zelda when it comes out.
So you hit the nail right on the head with the hammer. There was a report that leaked out a couple of days ago that had an insider within Nintendo saying the reason for the softer sales, other than the price point and the economy being bad in various places around the world, there wasn't a big AAA, like, you must buy this console type of game. And I think everyone kind of agreed with that, because as much as we love Donkey Kong, or as much as you can enjoy a Pokemon spinoff, there wasn't the Switch 1 year of Zelda and Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't this, like, it was just a lot of like B tier like things with Donkey Kong. And I don't know if Donkey Kong's always been like the greatest seller of systems.
Yeah, it was a very weird choice for them to choose Donkey Kong. It does play like a weird version of a Mario game, and it has so many Mario-like elements to it. But for someone who's not like the biggest Nintendo fan, they're just going to see the title and be like, "Oh, well, it's not Mario."
I, in my heart of hearts, I really hope that they have like whatever is next in terms of like either it's Wonder Part 2. But then I say things like this, and then I look at what they're doing, and it's a Switch 2 with DLC thing for Wonder. Yeah. It's Animal Crossing, whatever, for Switch. Like, it's a lot of these like weird ports with DLC. Yeah. Doesn't bode well for a sequel.
It's I don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't know what they're doing. It's almost like you know what? I like to stay hopeful and be like, it will make sense. I'm the crazy Nintendo fan in the corner, like, it will make sense after the next direct, I promise. No. But yeah, no, honestly, who knows? I would have loved a Wonder 2. Wonder was so good. But yeah, the fact they're doing a port of like all these games, it almost cements the fact that we're not going to see a 2D platforming Mario for a long while. We're not going to see a completely new Animal Crossing game for a long while. And the thing is, when we eventually do, we have something to compare it to, which is the upgraded version for the last console. Yeah. So they've kind of shot themselves in their foot for some ways, unless it really is that big and spectacular, or if they're just not going to do it.
Listen, they had years upon years upon years to follow up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think they came up with a pretty underbaked, like open world Mario Kart world.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know.
yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree. I agree. It's I can see how much they're trying, and the open world kind of stuff. It just didn't. It just wasn't as fun as I think they expected everyone to find it. And the big thing with Mario Kart is trying to. It's hard to try and make Mario Kart fun on your own. It's always like that couch friend co-op like party type of game. So I commend them for trying, but if they did like something similar to Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart on the DS, where they had like bosses and stuff like that, I would have loved that. But I think you are right. Like, as much as it's hard for me to say, it was a bit underbaked.
You know, they came out with the trailer for the Galaxy movie, and they gave us 1 and 2, which was cool, if not a little overpriced. But I know that they're sitting on Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Sitting on as in, I still have my Wii U. I can still dust off the HD Twilight Princess and Wind Waker if I want to. But no, yeah, you're right. Obviously, there's so many people that didn't even get a Wii U, and I don't know why they wouldn't. They re-released Skyward Sword on the Switch. So it will all make sense. Trust me. 6 months from now, you'll be like, oh, that's why they did that.
No, I know they're sitting on Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and they're just waiting, and there's no reason why they can't just give it to us now. Nintendo, you are some of the worst business people running the most brilliant game developers, and you're holding them hostage, and I hate you for it.
They have some of the best IP and some of the best ideas in some ways, but then poo all over it, and it's so annoying. And the one thing I could think of as to why maybe they're holding back on stuff like Zelda and Mario at the moment is that maybe whatever business person in charge is really putting their foot down about timing it at the same time as, I don't know, a movie or something. Maybe there's just someone up there that's maybe even on the movie development side that's like, we need something for the same time as the movie. I mean, that's the only. I'm trying to defend them here, but honestly, who knows?
If you're going to get into a game of timing movies or TV shows with games, you are in a very big losing battle, because those two things, time-wise, have nothing to do with each other. One can be made very quickly. It can be finished and put on a shelf, and you give it a release date and it's good to go. And the other takes 5, 6, 7 years. There are delays. You have to reboot Metroid Prime 4 mid-development. You can never time those things perfectly unless you're so ahead of the curve. I just don't see it. And I'm just going to finish off and say that them releasing a short film for Pikmin and giving us no new Pikmin game is the most cruel, twisted joke I've ever seen in my life. And I will never forgive them for it.
It is a bit bizarre. My point earlier was maybe just about like if they are sitting on like something to re-release, if they're doing like a HD whatever. But then again, I guess they did release the HD Galaxy games for the trailer announcement. So I'm literally just sitting here struggling to defend them. And you're right, it is a very hard time to be a Nintendo fan, and they've got the hardware. In my opinion. They can do some great things. It's just whatever's stopping them right now is weird.
Well, in due time, because we didn't get anything from the Game Awards from them, and they're just on their own schedule. They're marching to the beat of their own drum. They are like a giant elephant, just waltzing around, and people are just trying to shove the elephant, and the elephant just goes, "Nope, I'm just going to do whatever I want. No one can move me. I'm too heavy."
He's like a drunk friend on a night out that you're hoping the best for and trying to look after, but they just want to run off into the night.
You're like, "Please, drunk friend, you're the smartest and best of us all. Please just get your stuff together and come up with a coherent plan." And then they go, "Here's Drag and Drive. Here's Arms." And you're like, "Arms?"
In an alternate timeline, we're all Nintendo fans are jacked. They've got huge arms, and they've turned arms into an esport. But yeah, not here.
I think we have to finish this podcast by basically predicting Arms too.
Legs.
Yeah, legs. Yeah. Oh my God, this has been the best time. Thank you so much for coming on. Where can people find more of your work, Maheen?
Yeah, no worries. I've had a great time talking about Nintendo. I'm happy to come back anytime. Where can people find me? I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky, Maheen the Machine, Mahin the Machine. I'm on Twitch, Maheen the Machine. I'm Maheen the Machine on most things. If you type in Maheen the Machine and nothing comes up, I don't use that social media. So Maheen the Machine everywhere. Club Penguin, Neopets, all of that.
Wow. Yeah, RuneScape, you want to include any other?
RuneScape. Yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, maybe in the next time we do this, we'll do a video version. We'll both dress up.
Oh yeah, I've got many costumes.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll I have a Resident Evil employee outfit, like an Umbrella Corporation. Maybe I'll get a lab coat and I'll be like an Umbrella Corporation like lab tech.
Oh, I have a Bender from Futurama costume that I spent too much money on that got used for like one Halloween, so I need to get more bang for my buck there.
Okay, we're gonna do some fun cosplay Halloween stuff in the future. I know we're going to. We have to.
Yes, I'm down.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. You can follow Video Game Town on Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. We are on Patreon and Ko-Fi. And please go to videogame.town to read our articles. We have a ton of freelancers who are working with us now. And we're going to just keep trying to get a bunch of people on board with this new website. I mean, late breaking news, a lot of the people from Inverse Gaming just got laid off. So we're going to try to give them shout outs to them, some love to them. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you like what we do, and we'll see you next time.